Hi, I'm Melissa.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Brenda.
And we are MCB Productions.
My name is Joshua Stewart.
My name is Lekna Chai, and I work in a bakery.
Juan Lopez. I'm an MBA student at the University of Nevada, Reno.
Meet Professor Ken Grace.
I teach a lot of Health 1 classes and a lot of activity classes at Chabot. Probably the simplest thing that I tell people is not to eat anything that their great-great-grandmother didn't eat.
This is 89-year-old Lily Suarez.
I'm Charlie Bean, and I am 20 years old. I have high blood pressure and diabetes.
A whole bunch of folks out there, all shapes and sizes, that are diabetics.
I don't know the exact time I got high blood pressure, it's been a while, but I say it's about 2 or 3 years ago while I was in high school. Yeah, I had high blood pressure. Let's go to the doctor, that's how I am right now at least. That the doctor looks for blood sugar, so I guess I gotta take a shot or something every time I go, so I could check out the blood sugar. I found I had diabetes last year in November. Diabetes in November, yes. Let's see. There's a small incident that happened there. I was just at school. I had some Jack in the Box when I was at school. After Jack in the Box, I wasn't feeling so well and I collapsed. So they took me to the emergency room, and that's when the doctors told me that, oh, you have diabetes.
The doctor gave me two options. One is to take extra medication or to control my diet. I chose the latter one. I take very little medication, but I eat the right things at the right time, and it has helped me to remain healthy.
During the weekdays, I eat very healthy. I stick to a 5-meal plan, including carbohydrates and proteins, and I would not use so much sodium on my food.
The more we can make choices of eating foods that are non-processed, no added chemicals, things like that, the better off they're going to be.
When I was young, I grew up in a rural area. We grew our own food. We had rice fields, we had fruits, vegetables, everything around the house, and everything grew free from pesticides. Eating right is the most important one, yes.
Once taught me that a diet should not be just a temporary thing, it should be a lifestyle.
I would say her eating habits are inconsistent, and I say that because she knows how she should eat, but with having to be at school, having to be at her shop, having to be at a whole bunch of other places, she's inconsistent in how she eats. So I think that's why I would say her eating habits are.
Nice about having a partner that motivates you is also that they really help when you do have a busy schedule. He puts my meals together for me and have it ready for me in the morning.
A lot of cheap food is highly processed, so people who are financially in a burden, they tend to eat foods that are probably not good for them, but they're economical, and so it's hard getting people to, hey, pay a little more and eat this and get more nutrition out of it so it doesn't hurt your health in the long run.
Eating habits when I was a child, it's more like my mom forcing stuff down my throat. It's like, we always had to eat, and it's like, I wouldn't say it's because we're poor. It's like, I don't know why she was stuffing stuff down. Now that I think about it, maybe she just didn't want to hear me complain when I get home.
Well, I ate out a lot because it's good, the food is there, it's ready for you, and I just didn't want to be home and cooking my own food.
With like one number 6. Yeah, and I want a chicken and bacon premium rate. And let me get 10-piece chicken nuggets.
Okay. That'll be all.
Yep.
My wife had bought that stuff Ensure that they try to sell to old people to get protein, and I grabbed the bottle the other day and I looked at it, and the number 2 ingredient in Ensure was sugar, and yet it's sold as a high protein thing for older adults. Older adults not knowing better drink that high sugar thing. That would put them at more prevalence to getting adult 2 diabetes than, you know, just eating a natural food.
Steak, chicken, was it pork? Anything, meat. Meat's freaking good. Meat's good. It has a lot of protein, so that's my excuse for eating. Screw your spinach. That comes from dirt, shit, and the ground and whatnot. I'm human, not a rabbit. Rabbit eats that shit. Well, my daily routine is pretty much my whole week. Wake up, go to school, and then go to work or go back home. I work at a bakery, yeah. Surrounded by, I mean, there's a lot of convenient stuff there, so you know, it's a lot of fast food. Hence my eating of fast food. It's near and it's convenient.
Like sugar's the #1 thing in terms of trying to get people to, I mean, sugar tastes good. That's why people buy stuff with sugar in it. The less sugar, the better off you can be. Less salt, the better off you can be. Most non-processed foods have 7 to 1 in terms of potassium to sodium. Most processed foods are 7 to 1 in terms of sodium to potassium. So if we kind of evolved and all of our ancestors ate a food that was the 7 to 1 potassium to sodium, and now we eat the opposite, that's going to mess up our metabolism. So it kind of, you know, falls in that same thing, learning to eat less processed foods.
All this is just to say this is that, you know, you have to be very careful what you eat, because what you eat is important. When you it's about moderation. You can still have anything about what you want. Thing in moderation. You can still have sweets. You can still have a piece of pie or whatever like that. Of course, it's better if that pie was sugar-free or something like that. But then again, you got to watch out what they give you in the way of sugar alternatives, because first of all, you don't want to mess with no aspartame or aspartame, however you choose to announce it. Or you don't want to use any of the Splenda or any of that kind of stuff and like that, because basically it comes from the company Monsanto, which is a chemical company, and they make pesticides and everything else. And a lot of these artificial sweeteners were found because they were doing tests and experiments on chemicals to kill bugs and stuff like that, and that's where it comes from.
Tips for a healthier lifestyle. I would do this. 1, again, try to eat as non-processed as possible. Not eating foods or trying to not eat foods that your great-grandmother didn't eat. Move every day. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to run, but walk at least 20 minutes every day. Don't skip meals, so that you're eating every 2.5 to 3 hours. A lot of small meals makes you put on less body fat than 1 or 2 big meals a day. And then again, the final thing is being aware of added sugars and fats in your diet. Yeah, so ideally, in re-looking at labels, again, the less ingredients, the better. And in fact, I've read a lot of stuff that talks about if it has more than 5 ingredients, you probably shouldn't eat it. But again, you want to look for things you do not want partially hydrogenated oils or any hydrogenated oils. Those are trans fats. Again, your body doesn't know how to metabolize them. It raises cholesterol, blood pressure, possibly leads to adult 2 diabetes, a greater chance of that. Sugars, added sugars, and all the sugars have the OSE in the end, so sucrose, glucose, dextrose, those are all added sugars. The lower those are down on the list, the less of them being added on there.
Folks are out here eating all these GMOs and everything else as far as for so quote unquote nutritional value. Well, when you find out that stuff's not really nutrition, it's killing you too. It's got a lot of byproducts in it, and a lot of it's not even food anymore. You know, there's a saying out there about KFC. You know, the KFC used to be Kentucky Fried Chicken, but since the food that they're serving isn't real chicken, they're not allowed to call themselves chicken anymore. So it went to KFC. Sometimes they'll say it's organic, and it's not really organic. You know, so you really got to know and do your little research and your homework on what is a viable food source and what's not. Because a lot of times you can have stuff like carrots. You know, a lot of people think all carrots, you know, naturally grown, this and that and the other, but they're not. And with the carrots, you know, you'll see, you don't never want to eat those little baby carrots because those aren't real carrots. They're not grown like that, nor are they shaved down like that. They're little bitty old artificial carrots. They're grown in GMO soil. And also they're bleached in Clorox.
Choice is something that you can. You can make the right choices if you value your health, if you value the things that you want to do, then choice is a number one priority.